This winter, before you travel to or through snow country, visit www.tripcheck.com for the latest in road conditions, regional weather forecasts, incident information, and chain requirements. Learn what you need to take in your car or truck to be prepared for winter travel. Make sure you have tools like a jack, lug wrench, jumper cables, and a shovel. Carry flares, road maps, extra warm clothes, boots, hats, and gloves. Keep an ice scraper or snow brush handy and be ready for the unexpected. You never know what you will need, but one item you should carry and may make use of during your winter travel is a set of tire chains. Installing tire chains may seem intimidating the first time, but it is not hard if you follow the basic instructions provided by your chain manufacturer. This video will give you some pointers on cable chain installation and removal. There are many different types of tire chains, but one of the more common styles used on passenger vehicles is the cable chain. One of the best ways to learn about cable chain installation is to practice installing and removing them before you go to the snow. Practice in your garage, driveway, or any area away from traffic. Always park on firm level ground to install your cable chains. Set your emergency brake and turn on your emergency flashers as a matter of good practice. Before installation, determine if your vehicle has front wheel, rear wheel, or all-wheel drive. Make sure you have the right size chains for the tire size you have on your car. If you own more than one vehicle, it is easy to mix up different sets of chains and put the wrong size chains in the wrong vehicle. It is always best to check before you need to use them. You may find it easier and cleaner to install the chains if you have a rain jacket or work coat to cover your clothes. Gloves are a good idea to protect your hands. A blanket or plastic bag is also a nice item to place on the ground before you put on your chains. Chains need to be installed on the drive wheels. Make sure you place the cable chain on the ground with the smooth side of the crossmember eyelet facing up. Look for the marking, tire side, to determine which side should be up. Cable chains have a split side and a non-split side. The open and close connection in the middle of the split side of the chain helps you put them on more easily. To install the chains, sweep the chain around the tire with the split side of the chain open to the outside of the tire. Do not fasten the middle connector of the split side at this time. Instead, straighten the chain out and then reach to the far ends of the chain for the ends that will be the inside of the tire fasteners. Pull the ends to the top of the tire so the fasteners can be more easily seen and attached. Simply place the slip hook through the fastener hole. You may have to attach the slip hook end through the fastener hole by feel if you cannot see it. You have now attached the inside section of the cable chain. Now look for the ends near the top outside of the tire and place the bushing end of the outside cable through the fastener end. Using both hands, pull the cables over the tire, down and towards you, to create as much slack as possible. Once you have done this, you will find it very easy to place the bushing end of the cable that is near the ground through the keyhole of the corresponding cable. The chains are now on, but are not yet completely installed. You need to attach the rubber tensioner to each of the 6 parts of the cable chain. The hooks on the rubber tensioner must have the flat face of each hook against the tire. When the tensioner is new, it may be difficult to stretch into position. In order to make it easier, start the first hook at the 11 o'clock position and then go to the 5 o'clock position. Go around the chain in a similar fashion until all of the hooks are in place. The tensioner must be completely installed to take up any slack in the cable for a proper fit. It may be tempting to stop your practice at one tire, but go ahead and try the same techniques on the other wheel. Make sure you refer to your cable chain installation and removal instructions throughout the process to make sure you are installing the chains correctly. To summarize the process for placing cable chains on the second wheel on the same drive axle, simply lay the chain out on the ground with the markings tire side facing up. Utilizing a sweeping motion, slide the chain under the vehicle and around the back of the tire. Position the cable chain so the split side of the chain is once again on the outside of the tire, with the bottom fasteners near the midpoint of the outside of the tire. Grab the ends of the inside portion of the chain and bring them to the inside top of the tire. Slide the slip hook through the fastener hole near the top of the tire on the inside. Again, this may be difficult to see if clearance is minimal, and you may have to do it more by feel. Once the inside portion of the cable is joined, go to the top outside of the tire and place the bushing end through the fastener. Once you have hooked the top fasteners, grab the outside cable with both hands and pull it towards you. This will create the slack you need to take the bushing end of the lower fastener on the outside of the tire and thread it through the keyhole portion of the fastener nearest the ground. The chain is almost completely installed, but once again, you need to attach the rubber tensioner. Reinstall the hooks on the rubber cord if needed, and make sure the flat side of the hooks are against the tire. Stretch them from each segment of the cable, again starting at the 11 o'clock position with the first hook, proceeding to the 5 o'clock position with the second hook, and working in a similar way around the circle until each hook is fastened. It is a good practice to then get in the car, pull a few feet forward, and then get out again and check the chain installation. This also gives you another opportunity to look for any items you may have dropped or left on the ground before you drive away. Driving with cable chains requires you to go at a slower speed than you may be accustomed to, but manufacturers recommend keeping speeds below 30 miles per hour when chains are installed to help ensure maximum chain life. Now that you have practiced putting on chains, it is time to practice removal. Remove the rubber tensioner. Be careful to hang on to it so the band does not snap into your hands or wrist. Now, starting with the outside fasteners, unhook them by grasping the keyhole fastener and wiggling the fastener bushing out of the keyhole. Do the same thing to the top inside fastener until the chain is ready to drop off the tire. The best way to find the top inside fastener is to note the position of the outside fastener with two bushings. This will place the inside fastener directly behind it. Pull the chains from the tire and lay them on the ground. Drive slowly off the chains only after you have pulled them from both tires. Do not try to drive off the chains with either of them draped over your tire or without unhooking the inside fastener. Once you are off the chains, pick both of them up, take a look for damaged parts, and then roll or stow them in a safe place until you can place them back in their original container. After using chains in the snow, it is a good idea to clean and spray them with an all-purpose lubricant. The Oregon Department of Transportation wants you to travel safely at all times and know before you go. So check these websites before you travel. www.tripcheck.com for the latest in road conditions and weather. Or for a comprehensive listing of winter driving tips, visit www.oregon.gov/odot/com/winterdriving.shtml.